Hello, everyone. Welcome to Knowledge Enlightenment Podcast. Today we're not going to actually waste too much of the time, so we can actually go straight to the point. Okay. So today's video is going to be about people who want to invest long term when it comes to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also Altacoin. So if you're actually struggling and you want to know which ones are actually best for you to invest in, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and we're going to have a little bit of a recession on. Which ones would be best recommended for you. What I can actually do is outline the best of which one we would actually advise are actually the best for you to invest in. Okay, number one, Bitcoin. So I know that you want to understand what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a digital gold. Do you understand? So what you need to know about it is that it has a form of scarcity and security. So what you need to know is that Bitcoin has kept supply of 21 million Bitcoin around the globe. Okay, so it's something that you need to know that Bitcoin has kept suppliers for more than 21 million. Okay, so it has suppliers for more than 21 million around the world. And then what you need to know about Bitcoin is that it has on its institutional adoption is that Bitcoin has approximately one of the biggest companies that are actually investing in it. So what we have Infidelity, we also have BlackRock, and also we have MicroStrategy. So what I mean is that those three companies, I'm sure there's also other companies, but we thought that it's necessary for us to choose the best companies which are actually well known, so which with too much influence. They took Bitcoin as their treasury asset. So remember, Bitcoin is a treasury asset because they know that Bitcoin stores value. Okay, and another one we have on the Bitcoin is that regulatory clarity. So we also have regulatory clarity when it comes to Bitcoin. So we know that Bitcoin has been there since 2024, and obviously based on its mainstream, it's actually skyrocketing. It's going to actually perform for a very long time. Okay, so those are the pros that you need to know about Bitcoin. So now we're going to talk about the cons. So the cons of Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is a limited utility. What I mean is that it's an investment to store value. You understand? So if you're looking for investment for design and also scalability, I think that it's best for you to focus on Ethereum. But we're going to get back to that. Okay. And then another thing is that Bitcoin has a slow innovation. So what I mean by that is it doesn't have programmability and also scalability like Ethereum. So those could be the cons that you might try to focus on when you're looking at Ethereum, because I feel like it's very, very important for you to take all those things into consideration. Okay, so focusing on institutions. If institutions are going to be they're going to have a form of demand on Bitcoin, based on the stats and then based on the forecast for the coming 5 years from 2025 to 2030, we want to see Bitcoin moving from $80,000 to 150. You understand? So it moves from that based on the forecast of the coming 5 years, and then besides institutions, but if institutions are going to be involved in that, it means that it's going to move from $50,000 to 175 because of the demand. Remember that when institutions are on demand for Bitcoin, we expect the price to be bullish, right? So yes, that's what you need to know. And then number two, we have Ethereum. So what you know about Ethereum? Ethereum, it's a smart contract giant. So this one is specifically for those who want to invest in NFTs and also DFIs. So what to know about that when we read about smart contracts and DApps is that Ethereum holds more than 60% of DFIs and also NFTs. Okay, that's something that you need to know. And then secondly, what you need to know about Ethereum is that Ethereum has the 2.1 upgrade. I'm sure that you're aware of the 2.0. No, so not 2.1, 2.0 upgrade. That one, it helps a lot because it creates some form of scalability, and also it also reduces fees. So a lot of us, we don't want to buy things when they're obviously expensive. So with Ethereum, it's good for you because you can actually buy things. You can actually buy things on a very reasonable price. Okay. And another thing that you need to know about is that it has institutional interest. So there's also one of the two biggest companies that are also investing in Ethereum. So we have BlackRock and also Fidelity. So they're also investing in that. They have a couple of shares in the crypto space when it comes to Ethereum. Okay. And then what are the cons of Ethereum? Okay. The cons of Ethereum that you need to know is that Ethereum has competition. Ethereum has competition, which I mean it has competition like Solana, Tornado, Avalanche, and etc. So what I mean by that is that some of these companies, some of the crypto stories, they are actually more faster than Ethereum, and then they are more cheaper. So it's something that you need to consider. Okay, if you are capable of considering something like that, I feel like it's actually good. It'll give you more tangibility in order for you to go long for Ethereum. Okay. So now what we're gonna do now, focusing on the Ethereum, what you know for Ethereum is that the price of 2,000 US dollars to 5,000 US dollars. That's the forecast for 2025 to 2030. So we expect the Ethereum to move from that specific value to 5,000. Okay. So that's what we can. And then if institutions also come into that space, then we want to see it moving from 5,000 to 6.7 US dollars, and then from that amount going up. So we want to see Ethereum skyrocketing. And then the verdict for Ethereum, we expect it to be 2 to 10%. So if you want to go long on Ethereum, then I suggest that you should actually focus on that. Then what we're going to be going on, the third one is the Altacoins. Altacoins are so fantastic. Altacoins are NFTs. Those are NFTs, right? So if you are an investor that wants to go aggressive, then I think that Altacoins are the best. But on Altacoins for long term, I wouldn't literally say that I'm going to have a lot to say about that. But what I can say is I can give you a little bit of summary, and then I can give you specific Altacoins for you to focus on. So the Altacoin that we're going to be focusing on is Ethereum. You understand? So, no, sorry, not Ethereum. What we're going to be focusing on is Solana. I mean, Solana is one of the specific altcoins that you need to focus on. The reason why, because Solana is sort of a chain link. It's a chain link. It's actually a chain link for DFIs and NFTs. So if you're a person that invests in DFIs and NFTs, Solana is one of the best altcoins that we can recommend you to focus on. Okay, and then number two, we have the chain link. The chain link, remember, it's an oracle. The chain link it's an oracle, right? And then when we call it an oracle, actually it takes data. It carries out data straight to the blockchain. So that's why we're calling it an oracle. We are calling it an oracle because it takes everything straight to the blockchain. So, and then what I like about it is that it's much more cheaper. So it's reasonable for you to invest. So on the chain link, we want to see chain link moving from 100 and I think it's 100 somewhere. Yeah, 100 and